Hey, what's up, guys? So this is Feldon Richards, owner of NYC Phone Buyer LLC, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about meetup safety tips. This is a topic that I've been wanting to make a video about for a while, and for whatever reason, there aren't too many people making videos like this. I've checked, and I think it's important for us to all know how to remain safe, not just in the phone flipping business, but as resellers in general, regardless of what you buy. It's important for you to know how to stay safe when you're buying these items. And I'm really shocked at some of the things that I'm seeing people say that they're doing regarding meetups. Some people feel invincible, like nothing bad can happen to them. And it's great to feel that way, but it's also very, very naive. Given the opportunity, anybody will take advantage of it. So some safety tips. I am a phone flipper, or I'm a direct buyer. I got started in the reselling business as a phone flipper, so I'm mostly going to be focusing on phone flipping safety tips. But honestly, these safety tips can apply to any business, even if you're not a reseller. It's just important to know how to stay safe. So phone flipping is a very lucrative business, but it can be dangerous if you don't operate it properly. And like I said before, any reselling business, you're dealing with strangers, you're meeting up to buy their stuff to resell it, or maybe you're meeting up to sell items to people. It can be dangerous if you don't operate your business properly. So here's one website that I've been using for the last couple months. It's safetradespots.com. It's sponsored by Offerup, and they work with the local police stations in your area to make sure that you can do safe trades and safe meetups at your local police stations. I think this is awesome. I'm really glad that, there's more awareness being put around the dangers of local meetups and local buying, selling, and trading. And I think it's great that Offerup is doing this. So feel free to take that website down, jot that website down, go to the website, put your local police station in. In my area, unfortunately, there aren't too many police stations that allow you to do meetups for trades, which I think is weird. However, I've developed relationships with pretty much all the stations in my area, and I explain to them what it is that I do, and I haven't had any issues. So if you guys are in an area where you're having trouble doing safe meetups at your local stations, feel free to reach out to me in the comments, and I'll help you see how you can do meetups there. And I also know some people don't live in places where the stations are 24 hours. They are in my area, and there's always someone inside. Public spaces. So I always encourage people to meet up in a public space. You never want to meet up in a parking lot, an alley, an unlit area, dangerous neighborhood, gas station, or someone's home. Now, the gas station thing, I know it's probably going to get a lot of blowback, but honestly, gas stations, while they're safe places, technically, because they're public, they're also usually not really close to, highly populated areas. And I know that might sound silly, but I'm not really a big fan of the gas station meetup, honestly. A lot of the time, people that I talk to, they'll meet someone at a gas station on like a highway intersection or something like that. Stuff like that, it just, like, it relies too heavily on you having access to your vehicle, and like you can't just easily get out of the situation because the highway is there. You could get trapped. If it's a little one on, like the side of a street, like I'm in New York, a lot of the gas stations here are usually, between like intersections in the street, and they're usually by train stations. I don't know, I'm not really comfortable with the whole gas station meetup thing. It just seems super shady to me. Like, I'm also not a big fan of meeting people at McDonald's. I think if you're gonna do a meetup, it should be somewhere classy, like meet up at a Starbucks or something like that. Some people might even argue Chick-fil-A, but we're not going to go into that in this video. So yeah, I recommend doing meetups at a place like a Starbucks or a bank. If you're going to meet up at any business, in my opinion, it should be a Starbucks. Starbucks is, pretty classy. They serve expensive items, so you usually wouldn't really find bad crowds there. If you go to a place like McDonald's or something, the food there is really, really cheap. And a lot of people don't really think this. I think this is a big oversight. But if you're meeting up in a McDonald's, think about the type of people that go to McDonald's. you know, a lot of people from all different backgrounds eat at McDonald's, but where I'm from, you go into a McDonald's, you're typically going to see a homeless person, a beggar, or somebody asking for free food on the line or something. Somebody might be arguing with the cashier. I know I'm spending a lot of time on this public space one, but it's really, really important for people to understand the mindset behind the location that you choose. I don't even really like meeting up in you know, places like Walmart or anything. I don't know. I'm weird. I have set locations that I feel are safe. Starbucks is one for me. Banks are one for me. And police stations are big on my list. Anywhere else, in my opinion, you know, you guys can let me know in the comments what some of your safe meetup spots are, but those are the ones that have worked out best for me. I've never had any issues in Starbucks. I've never had any issues at a bank, and I've never had any issues at a police station. But I know people who have had issues in all those other places, which is why I personally don't like them. I've never heard of anybody saying, hey, I got robbed in a Starbucks. Like, I've heard of people saying, yeah, something happened to me in McDonald's or a parking lot or an alley or a bad neighborhood or a gas station. These are all stories that I've heard. So maybe that's probably why I don't really have the best thoughts toward those areas. And it makes sense to me. You know, again, Starbucks is very... It's a little bit more upscale than, you know, your usual fast food burger joint. Fake profiles. You should avoid meeting with people that don't have complete profiles. You'll lose deals and sometimes money, but you'll keep your life. I think this is very important. And what I mean by fake profiles is, you know, using name. I always use this example when I talk to people in my Facebook group. YGB Young Thotty is like an example of a fake profile name. You know, usually someone who has a name that seems gang affiliated, they're holding guns in their profile picture and things like that. These are the kinds of people you want to avoid, because I'm not saying they're all trouble. Some people just like to display that image on social media. But why do you need to be the person to find out? Like, you don't need to be the person to find out whether or not they're legit. Just don't waste your time. Don't get involved with people like that. You don't really need to be involved with people who have fake profile names or profile pictures of like dancing bananas and stuff, or pictures of the poop emoji. You don't really need to deal with these people. There are so much more opportunities out there, and typically the only time you're going to even feel the need or desire to get involved with these folks is when you just simply don't have enough leads coming in. And if you don't have enough leads coming in, that's a separate conversation that we can have, but there's a ton of business out there, and there's a ton of ways to generate business. So moving right along. The bill of sale. A bill of sale does a few things, and there's a lot of different thoughts on bill of sale. I'm just going to share based off my experience, based off of conversations with lawyers and things like that. I'll share my knowledge about bill of sale and how it works in New York. So a bill of sale does a few things. It proves ownership and transfer of ownership from the seller to you. A lot of people might say, well, why do I need that? Well, and this has happened. Let's say you buy a phone from somebody. You don't get their information, like their name, their address, their ID number. They can turn around 5 minutes later and say, give me my phone back. And this has happened before. I know of actual cases where this has happened before. So just think about that next time you're buying anything, not just a phone, without proof of purchase. You know, because you are buying from someone secondhand. Make sure that you have them sign for it so that they can't turn around and say that you stole it from them. That to me is like the #1 reason. Some people say it protects you from going to jail or this other blah, blah, blah. Listen, you always want to get proof of purchase, saying that you own the item. It discourages the wrong kinds of people from even trying to sell you stuff. You'll notice that if you mention bill of sale to someone and they try to back out, yes, sometimes it will be because they don't really see you as a business owner or trust you. Some people's logic is they shouldn't have to provide that to somebody buying a phone from them or whatever it is you're buying. They justify it by saying you're not a pawn shop. But a lot of the people that I know actually are legit business owners, even though they operate as local resellers, myself included. And it is what it is. If they don't want to sign the bill, you use your judgment and determine whether or not you want to make that purchase. It's really on you. It's your call at that point. Personally, I think it's a bad choice. However, no one can dictate how you do your business. No one can tell you not to buy a phone with or without a bill of sale. It's just that in my experience and in the experience of others, typically making purchases without a bill of sale will get you involved with the wrong crowds, and it'll put you into dangerous situations. And I'll leave it at that. Also, check out the Flipper Bill of Sale app. I'll drop that in the comments so you guys can download it from the iOS App Store. Right now, it is not available on Android, but you can get it on iOS. So if you have an iPad or a tablet or an iPhone smartphone, you could check it out there. A good buddy of mine, Alex Trejo, made the app, so you guys definitely want to check that out. It is a great way to electronically store information and protect your customer data. You can also email a copy to yourself or a friend or family member. And, the bill of sale can't be taken out of your possession, obviously, if you stored it electronically and sent it via email. So it's a great way to it's just a smart way to do business. Meetups. We kind of went over this heavily already, so I'll just glance over this briefly. You only want to meet inside, preferably only during the day, and always let someone know where you're going to be. If you can take someone with you, definitely do that. My wife and I did a lot of our meetups together, and, we never really had any issues. So meeting up and taking someone with you is important. If you can. Not required. Exiting the meetup. You never want to leave with your seller. You never want to drive people home or give rides home to people. This is stupid stuff that I've done in the past. I've never had any issues, but just in hindsight, it's not really smart to give people rides. Like, why would you let a stranger in your car? Yeah, that you just bought something from them, but you're putting yourself in a position where you're creating an opportunity for something to happen. And a lot of the times when people do pull things, sometimes it's not even premeditated. They just look there like, oh wow, I'm in the car with this person and they have like $1,000. They got the phone. I could take the phone and sell it to somebody else. Like you don't want to put yourself in those situations. So just let your seller leave. Wait a couple minutes, check your surroundings. A buddy of mine actually carries a disguise around in his bag, which I think is insane, but it's hilarious. And he changes his outfit every time he's done doing the deal. I think that's really excessive and not necessary, but to each his own. I say just check your surroundings and always wait before leaving the area, and you should be fine. Because sometimes if you don't wait around, people can follow you and things like that. So it's important as a reseller to be aware of these things that could happen. Walking home and driving home. I tell people all the time, you never want to take the same route. I come from a background in banking, and at the banks, anybody who worked in the finance industry, you know that you change up your routine. You never close at the same time, open at the same time, arrive in the same area, or take the same bus. Like, you always want to switch it up because people pick up on routines. And if you have a routine and someone is targeting you, it'll be that much easier for them because you're always at the same place at the same time. I have told people previously you should have a schedule, and I think having a schedule is important, but it's also important to be aware of these things that can happen as a result of following a schedule. So, maybe you want to do Mondays from 1 to 2 and Tuesdays from 3 to 4, and then rotate the times on other days of the week or the week after, things like that. So just be smart and use your good judgment when you're making business decisions. Don't get followed, and don't make yourself a target because you have such a strict routine. If you can pay without cash, do it. One thing that I started doing last year was most of my meetups, I was paying people using apps like Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, and different other money movement apps because I didn't feel comfortable carrying around wads of cash. I know people who in the reselling business carry money. I'll leave it at that. I won't say a number, but people carry money, and it just isn't the best practice because it puts you at risk. Regardless of where you're meeting at, you can watch the news. There's always instances of people, going up to meetups and just stupid stuff happening because people are expecting them to come with a lot of cash. And if you can, even bring someone with you to a deal. I've said this before, but if you absolutely feel like you must carry cash, bring someone with you to the deal or meet up at a police station. You know, if the person is not agreeing to take Zelle or Cash App for payment, these are things that you can do to think outside the box and get creative and stay safe. So that's pretty much it that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, and share. Subscribe to the channel so that you get updated whenever I post new videos. Like, because, well, I put a lot of work into this video. You should like it. Comment if you have any questions or feedback to share. Again, this isn't a topic that I've really seen too much about, so I wanted to get this out there. And share the video so that other people stay safe.